6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, everybody. My name is Vinny MG. I got my boy right next to me, Mr. Phoenix. And we have a very awesome, special, incredible guest. Let's bring him on. Jeremy Cutler.
Hey, guys. How's it going? Thank you very much for the opportunity to come on here and talk to you guys tonight. It's a beautiful Friday evening up here in Massachusetts, and
Beautiful.
It's beautiful as 50-degree weather can possibly be, I guess.
Tell people what is it exactly you do.
Oh, okay. So, to put it that way, I started off as a professional wrestler. I did that for about 20 years, from the early 90s through the beginning of the 2010, 2011s. Did a lot of background work, helping with character development and storylines and backward stuff. And then shortly after that, my wife and I got into the paranormal field, and we've been paranormal investigators now for about 14 years. Been to various locations along the New England area, as well as the Eastern State Penitentiary, Rolling Hills in New York, and a couple of the Hinsdale House out in New York as well, which is an amazing place. And then recently, within the last few months, I started the Twisted Tales podcast as part of the All Access Family Network, Wednesday nights at 9:30 p.m. So it's been quite the road so far.
Right on. So, what was your wrestling name?
I was the outpatient. I played a deranged psychopath from the Department of Corrections, aka Bellevue, or aka the asylum, whatever designation was given to me that particular night from whatever promoter I was working for at the time. But yeah, I played a deranged lunatic. I had long hair that came down. I used to darken in my eyes, and it was fun, man. I was actually trained by the legendary Walter Killer Kowalski out of Boston, Massachusetts, old school wrestlers from the 60s and 70s, and couldn't have had a better trainer as a guy who did it all in the business, and he was an amazing guy.
For sure.
I was in the same training class as Triple H, the CEO now of WWE, but he was just starting out as Terror Rising when I first started. He was getting his first matches in at that point. Perry Saturn and John Cornus, the Eliminators, were also part of my class as well. I was able to help out train China. If you remember China from WWE, the eighth wonder of the world character, or ninth wonder of the world, I think they called her. And I've had I had a wonderful time getting a chance to go out and perform in front of crowds, and I think that it helps with the podcasting because I'm comfortable in front of a camera. I'm comfortable with a microphone. I'm comfortable talking to people. So, being an extrovert definitely helps that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. It's okay. I just dropped my phone.
It happens, right?
Yeah.
Did you just say you dropped your phone?
Yeah, I dropped my phone.
We don't need it.
No, I don't need it right now. Anyways, so investigations. I heard you've been doing a couple paranormal investigations. What was that like for you as a first timer?
The very first one that I ever did, I think we touched on it briefly, but my wife has always been, I'm just going to tell the whole spiel because it actually helps we'll paint the picture. My wife has always been a huge fan of the paranormal shows, whether it was like Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, Paranormal State, you name them. I think she used to watch them. And I was a static I was a cynic slash skeptic at the time, poke fun at it. Oh my God, what was that? Did a fly fart in the corner or something like that when they were making noises? I didn't, just it wasn't my thing at the time. And
Who was
one
pulling
day,
the cord?
exactly, poking fun at her, so she'd probably, just get a little bit of you get a rise out of her or whatever, And then one day she's like, I want to go on an investigation. I'm like, what are we going to be investigating? She goes, well, there's an investigation going on at this place called the S.K. Pierce Victorian Mansion. It's in Western Massachusetts. And I'm like, okay. She goes, there's going to be a psychic medium there. I'm like, psychic medium? I'm a psychic triple extra large. I was honestly poking fun. So we get in the car, we drive like the hour to go out there, and when we got there, this place, amazing, immaculate, 3 stories plus. You go inside, and it was still raw at the point. Nowadays, they've actually revamped it. They redid it. It's beautiful now, but it was in its raw stages when we went there. And then they give you the briefing of what's going on, and they take us on a tour. So we go up to the second floor. The people go off in one direction. I can't stick in a group because it's just not my nature. I always have to go off and do my own thing. So I ventured off into a different room. They called the nursery. In the room, there was like a crib on the floor, windows, vanity and stuff like that, and a mirror. And all of a sudden, I saw this black mass come out from the side where the mirror was, and it literally blocked out the light coming in from the street light from the outdoors through the window, and then poof, just disappeared. Probably the whole thing maybe took place about 15-20 seconds total, if I had to guess.
Wow.
So me being in professional wrestling and working in staging, I'm like, okay, I gotta try to find a smoke, maybe a projection or something that you could explain why this actually took place, And I found nothing, because there's nothing but the mirror and the wall and the wallpaper. That was it. So I'm like, oh, I think I just had an experience. So just shook up a little bit, went and found my wife, and I go, I just had a weird experience. I told her about it. She's like, really? We haven't even started the investigation tonight, and you already encountered something the very first time. I'm like, yeah, I guess it actually happened. I mean, aside from like hearing things on that ghost boxing that flips through the channel, that and I got to experience that for the first time, or like REM pods or dowsing rods and all. I got to see the paranormal team use the equipment, and it was cool, and got to see results. But that first thing, and then after that, we moved on, and our second investigation was at this place called the Murdoch Whitney.
Okay.
It's actually the Winchendon, Massachusetts Historical Society, but the actual the giant building itself, the mansion-looking thing, is Murdoch Whitney. And they actually have a building across the street from it called the Isaac Morse, where they have all like the old school wooden toys that were made in this particular town. I guess they're famous for their wooden toys and rocking horses. Now it's like a toy museum, and it's actually a history museum of that area now. Ooh. But before that, it was being used as storage, and the main building was the Murdoch Whitney that had everything in it. And got to enjoy a little bit there. Got to hear some EVPs and whatnot and so forth. But yeah, Vinny, my main introduction to the paranormal was a bizarre one, to say the least, for somebody who had no inkling of ever wanting to be involved in the paranormal to begin with. And that was, I'm going to say like 2011. I'd say like 2011. Yeah. So,
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's when you're meant for something, you're meant for something, though. So.
Yeah. You're definitely not wrong about that. I mean, I feel that I've been given an opportunity to go to a bunch of different places. My wife does. My wife does all like the picking out of where we're going to go and stuff, because she's good at all that. So she's like the planner. And she plans everything out. At one point, she was calling herself my booking agent, because she was booking us to go to different places. It's just, we poke fun at each other all the time like that. So it's nothing new there, And then there was like the touching. You'd get like the feel on your arm, or the tug of your shirt. The tugging of the shirt happened quite a bit, and then like the poking or the the one night that we were at SKPS for a different investigation, and some people were instigating the spirits up in this area that you're not supposed to, the billiard room, in the closet, which some bad things happened back in the day, and they irritated the spirits that were in there. I didn't know that because I was in a different room investigating and doing my thing, and then I went into that room after they had gone in and bolted out of there, and I got scratched up by a ghost, or I think a spirit, and then all my energy like drained out of my body. I staggered downstairs into the kitchen, and I drank like 4 bottles of water, and I'm sitting there at the table, and I asked my wife, I go, is there something wrong with my neck? And she looked at my neck, had scratch marks all the way across it, like 10, 12 scratch marks going across the back of my neck, and my face was white. It took at least about a half an hour. I drank like this, or like 4 20-ounce bottles of water just to get some semblance of order back, you know. And that was the first kind of negative experience that I had, but it was because somebody else had provoked a spirit, you know. And
Go figure.
anybody who ever does any investigations, don't provoke the spirits. They're not there for your entertainment. They live there. That's their home.
Yep.
You know, and that's the main thing that I always try to explain to people. It's like, you're going into their home. You're going into, or where they worked if they passed away at a place you're going to that they worked at, or anything like. You're going to a place that they're comfortable with, that they're still there, and you wouldn't want them to walk into your house and smack you around and sit at your table and call you all sorts of names. So why would you do the same thing to them?
Exactly.
That's my personal feeling on it. I'm very serious when it comes to respect.
Yeah, and it is.
I agree.
And doing, and I always say this, is no matter what you do in life, no matter what it is, you always do it humbly and respectfully, because you never know what's around you. You never know what is being affected by your stupidity or by the fact that you are oblivious to everything. So you will always go in with a manner of respect, always, no matter what it is.
Absolutely.
See, I think some of them though go and provoke them because they watch it on TV.
Yeah, well, that's why they provoke them, because you got these dumbasses on TV like Zach Baggins from Ghost Adventures that antagonize ghosts just to get a rise out of ratings, or fucking these YouTubers that go out and do investigations and taunt. And
I agree with you guys entirely. There's a lot of individuals in the paranormal, and I'm not going to name any names. I do know some, and I'm even friends with some of them that try to get a rise out of the spirits so that they can get recordings, they can get evidence, so to speak, and they can parlay it into their 15 minutes of spotlight or something along those lines. Whether you're dealing with an enchanted object, like a haunted object, or whether you're in an asylum and you're trying to get the residents there to try to talk to you, and sometimes you try to make it interesting because you want that major thing. You want to get like groundbreaking evidence that maybe nobody else has, and there's a lot of people out there who really want that 15 minutes, so to speak. So
I call it 15 minutes of shame.
For 15 minutes, dumb stupidity.
But another real quick, if you go out there and you get the evidence the right way, the proper way, and you have that evidence, and you parlay that into getting your stuff, I respect that, because you got the evidence the proper way. You had respect, and the spirits talk to you. If you have that evidence and it gives you what you want, I have no problem with that, honestly, because you went about it the right way. You treated the spirits the way that you would want to be treated, and you got the evidence the proper way. So something, you can use that for whatever you want to use it for. I mean, exploitation, I don't really care for that, like, blatantly, but if it gets you a spot on a TV show, like a lot of people get, or whatever, as long as you do it the right way, through proper through proper channels and respect, then I can't fault that. I can't fault that part.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you got to understand something. It's you're not only doing it for entertainment, but you're doing it for scientific proof. You're doing it because, and I hope these are the people that are out there doing it for that reason, is because you want to know what's after this. You want to know.
No, I agree.
Because it's an unknown subject and there are theories and hypotheses and all sorts of wild accusations that go around reincarnation, another realm, another world, whatever it is,
reincarnation, past life regressions, all those kind of things. And I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. Wanting to know if we are allowed to know what the afterlife holds for us, when it is our time to leave this physical realm, what is next? If we're allowed to know, then I'm hoping that someday somebody can tell us. But as well as I can tell you guys what I said, everybody else, we as a field have barely even touched the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the paranormal.
No, we haven't. And that's what's so amazing about the paranormal, because paranormal can be anything. The paranormal can be something so unnatural to us that is actually natural and occurring in the world today. So
yep, you're right.
Now it's messed up because we have AI, and AI people are using that and turning around and faking so much that it's just unreal.
Yeah, AI is, in my opinion, the next level of faking things. I mean, you've seen all the Bigfoot videos of some dude wearing a fucking monkey suit running through the woods in grainy footage. You've seen the fake alien. There are some real alien footage out there that the government has even agreed upon that is actually real. They actually have that's real. But back in the day, they used to have the flying saucers on the end of a stick. I apologize if I have a little colorful language once in a while. It's just how.
No, we're not rated. We're good.
I mean, I cuss, so.
I just want to make sure, because sometimes when I get my point across and I'm really passionate about something, I'll throw a little bit of colorful language in there just because it's just how I feel about it.
Never heard of being called colorful language though.
Yeah, the whole point is like there's so many ways to get real evidence, like real. If you're into evidence. I myself call myself a paranormal communicator because I'm interested in the stories that they have to tell me.
Yeah.
And I'm not interested in getting it on recordings. I'm not interested in any of that. I'm interested in when I go to a location, I want to know, like, what's their stories? Do they have something they want to talk to me about? Do they want to interact? I'm not an investigator. I mean, I'm not trying to get evidence for a police file, or I'm not trying to put these ghosts on trial or any. To me, investigator can go many different ways. The word. I prefer a communicator because that's what I'm doing. I'm going in. I want to know what their stories are. I want to learn about them. I want to get like real, real communication, real answers sometimes.
I want to get the nitty-gritty, the real stuff, the stuff nobody else gets.
So what is your favorite way to talk to spirits?
Originally, I mean, I don't mind using my phone and going. I'll hit the if you go in like your, when you're taking pictures on the camera and you go to the video part of your phone and you put the video thing down and you get like a group of like 3 or 4 or 5 people and everybody asks a question, and then you wait 5 to 10 seconds and you go to the next person, and then when you're done, you shut it off and you go back and you replay it to get like to get some.
Never done that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a EVP session.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. But you know what? You don't need the fancy recorder. You have it right here. This fucking thing is better than any computer that I've ever owned. I mean, the one I'm on is something my friend let me use, but this was better than anything I ever had when I was growing up as a kid. I never had any kind of computers when I was growing up in the 70s and the 80s and whatnot. So I mean, this thing is amazing. The cell phones, and I use that when I do I call them round table sessions, when you get a bunch of people together. I ask a question, and then Vinny would ask a question, and then you would ask a question, and then two other people would, and you wait that 5 to 10 seconds in between, give the spirit a chance to answer before you ask the next question. And always make sure that the next question is a little different than the one before that. 'Cause sometimes people aren't paying attention and they ask the same stupid ass question twice in a round. And sometimes the spirit will answer one of them and ignore the second one because they already answered it. And they only have so much energy for a communication session, to be honest with you. I've noticed that if they come forward, they have enough energy to come forward to talk to you. They only have a certain amount of energy that they can expend before they need to take a break, before they kind of like when we talk. You need a chance to breathe. You need a chance to, and if they pull back, they might not be able to come back forward until, who knows, the next group of people come through or whatever. I also like to use the dowsing rods. I'm a big fan of the old school pendulums, crystals. If I'm with other people, I like, there you go. I like to have, if other people are using equipment like those word bank things. I forget ovuluses and things of that nature that they can spit the words out, But I like to just talk to them like I'm talking to you because I've been given the ability to hear them talk to me, and sometimes when people have equipment with them, when I'm talking, the equipment will back up what I'm saying. It'll actually come through as what I'm saying. So it's not exact. I mean, it's not an exact science. I don't think any of it is. That's why they keep inventing. The one piece of equipment that I really find amazing, I don't know if you've seen it, a portal box. Probably because it did the one thing that I was praying somebody would do. It got rid of all that stuff, and it's just clear cut answers coming through the box.
Yeah, I like the Ovilus 3. I got to use it when we went to the cemetery for the first time, and man, that was pretty cool. That was very impressive. My friend Nicole, she does a lot of different investigations and stuff around Florida here, Newport Richey.
Yeah.
And she said that it never went off as much as it did when we were there.
I'll tell you, Florida has one of my bucket list locations. My wife has been to it, but I have not. St. Augustine's Lighthouse.
Yes. I haven't got to go yet, but yes.
My wife went there last year with her family, and they did the walk up the 200 stairs or whatever the hell it was to the top. I've always wanted to see that. That's one of the places that really captures my imagination. That's one of my bucket list locations. I would love. I saw the episode of Ghost Hunters where you can see the shadow figures looking over the stairs at them, and that's the kind of stuff that I find truly amazing. Natural locations like that, surrounded by water, so the energy is intensified more than it is on dry land. Water always intensifies the paranormal energy, all of the otherworldly energy. It seems that, or any kind of water source, definitely increases the energy level.
Vinny, don't worry. If we go set up our investigating, I will put you on a strap on my back and carry you up those 200 some odd stairs.
You better. I ain't walking up 200 stairs. Look, I hate walking up my 6 steps to come in my room. You think I'll walk 200 stairs? You're out of your mind.
I think it's 200 and something stairs. I don't know exactly what the number is, but I know that they mentioned it a couple of times in one of the specials. I'm like, want to go there. Don't know if I can handle the 200 plus stairs, but I definitely would love to just be in the presence of that lighthouse. That's that's one of my
right.
I would love to go.
They have a boat, a haunted boat in California called the Queen Mary.
I've seen videos of that. I have friends of mine who have actually investigated on the Queen Mary. They say it's off the chart. Everything you see, even that Portals to Hell show. Yeah.
It was one of the eeriest, the creepiest, and the craziest experiences I ever had when I was 18. I went and I spent the night with a couple of my friends. We've got a room and it's cheap. You can spend a night on the boat for $20 for one room. It's not expensive. And it's the experience you get from it is just insane. It is crazy on it.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, my other bucket list. Well, one of my other bucket lists is Alcatraz. I would love to
Oh,
actually tour
oh,
Alcatraz.
oh,
You know,
I want to go there too. I would love. See, that's the kind of stuff I like. History, things that were involved in history, things that show America's proud past.
I guarantee you that the energy level in Alcatraz has got to be crazy.
Oh yeah, it has to be.
It would definitely be a
See,
lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun.
I want to investigate some areas and try to find some of the little people. I really do. Like Vern, he passed away. I would like to try to like talk to him, or the Munchkin that committed suicide,
On the Wizard of Oz.
or the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
What was so bad that made him want to do that?
The paycheck, most likely. I mean, I've read the stories about what happened to all those actors on The Wizard of Oz, and although I still love the movie to this day, I still can appreciate even watching it to this day, even in my early 50s. I make it a point to at least check that one out like once a year, just because it's a masterpiece.
Yes.
It's almost 100 years old. But the friggin' dog got paid better than all of the dwarf actors, or all the little people actors. The dog, Dorothy's dog Toto, got paid better than all of them.
Mhm.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, can you believe that? The way they treated the people from Munchkinville. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. The Munchkins got treated horrendously pay wise, and
They were They were
Wow, I didn't
verbally
know
and
that.
physically.
I would
Some of
definitely
them
have
were physically abused. Some of them were harshly verbally abused, and they weren't even getting paid the amount that they were promised they got paid. I actually know one of the people that's still alive today that played in The Wizard of Oz, and
really,
he said it was the worst experience he ever had acting in his life. Well,
oh my god, that's what they all went through was quite an amazingly brutal experience.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that hanging had to have something to do with some of that kind of stuff.
No, I don't think he did. But at the same time, he really didn't do anything to stop it, did he?
No,
Or to correct it? No, because all he cared about was getting that movie out on time. Did you know
that's
that
true.
Wizard of Oz is the only movie to ever get scheduled to come out and actually come out on time in movie history?
Really,
Yep.
I did not know that at all.
Yep.
Wow. So you were mentioning bucket lists.
Yeah.
Let's change it for a second. If
Sure.
you had a live person and a person that's passed away,
Yeah.
which two would you pick, or which one? Who would you pick for those two areas?
As far as
Like
the-
anybody, like famous wise, like I would say like Ozzy Osbourne just with passing away.
so if I could communicate with like a celebrity,
Yeah,
honestly, I mean, there's a couple. I mean, Ozzy, but he hasn't been gone like long enough. I don't think to. I mean, I'm sure everybody in the world's already been trying to talk to him ever since he's passed away.
Right.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I was thinking Michael Jackson was a big one.
That's a good one.
John Belushi, big fan
Ooh.
of John Belushi's from back in the day. Any of the 27 Club, like friggin' Janis Joplin or Jimi Hendrix or Jim Morrison, or
Good job.
there's so many, like, those people were so ultra talented. Chris Farley, if you want to go into the 90s, Chris Farley.
Oh, really? Yes, that's a good one.
One of my personal favorites who died tragically, Robin Williams,
Mhm.
because of,
Yeah,
more
I don't know
recently,
how a man.
Robert Carradine, Louis Skolnick from Revenge of the Nerds. Robert Carradine just died about a week or two ago, or was
Okay.
it was maybe a week ago that he passed away.
Yeah, and we just and like we were talking earlier, we just lost Chuck Norris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally earlier today, before we even had this conversation, Chuck Norris unfortunately passed on.
Passed away. Yeah.
But no, I mean, any of those guys like Belushi, one mind that would be interesting to pick if you could from the other side, Andy Kaufman would probably be a very intriguing
Wow.
mind to pick because he did so many things to twist the reality of comedy and acting and overall stage performing that, I mean, if you ever saw the movie Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey,
Hmm.
what and how well Jim actually portrayed Andy Kaufman down to like even being called Andy off camera and all of that kind of stuff. I watched the documentary. I thought it was an amazing thing. But Kaufman's work and the stuff that he did, and the more people wanted him to do his popular stuff, he was like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to sit here and just read The Great Gatsby while you can sit there and drool on yourselves for 10, 20, like 4 or 5 hours. That's actually in the movie, but geniuses like that, your Robin Williamses and your Richard Pryors and your Rodney Dangerfields. I love comedic geniuses and musical geniuses, and it's hard for me to pick one particular spot. If I'm going to go wrestling wise, I'd love to actually have a communications with Macho Man Randy Savage because I was a gigantic Macho Man Randy Savage fan in the,
That's a
in
good
the
one.
80s and the 90s. I would love one more recent one in like the early 2000s, Eddie Guerrero, when he passed away. He was an amazing talent as well, So it's like,
Oh yeah.
Even more recent, Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, Bray Wyatt.
Oh, for sure, Bray.
He was before his time, or he was so good at what he did that even his lasting impact even after he passed away in the wrestling industry is unbelievable.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, Bray was amazing, and he did everything that he could, and it was the greatest because in a way I would have called him the modern Undertaker or the next kind of Undertaker because he had that scary factor.
he did. He went from being a demented hillbilly
Mhm.
to, honestly, I loved the parody of Pee Wee's Playhouse with the Firefly Funhouse thing that he did, which actually
Yes.
turned into the Fiend gimmick with the clown mask and the gloves, which was so cool. The Fiend character was so cool. The Fiend character helped get through those couple of really dark years of the pandemic that tail into 2019 into 2020, 2021. And unfortunately, when he passed in 2023, and it's just, if he hadn't have gotten sick, I couldn't even imagine the stuff that he would have out currently today. His
Right.
influence today. I mean, I'm just sure his brother Bo, aka Uncle Howdy on WWE programming with the YS6, wishes he had as much talent as his. But Bo was a great wrestler, but he wasn't as good on the microphone or creatively wise as Bray. Bray was amazing talent. We seem to lose the really good ones.
Say what?
We seem to really lose the good ones.
Yeah, right.
I have a picture with the guy that did the Devil's Triangle, Sid
Haig.
Sid Haig. Yep.
Oh, the Three from Hell and the House of 1,000 Corpses and the Devil's Rejects and all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, he played Captain Spaulding. Captain Spaulding, the clown character. Yeah. I never got a chance to meet him. I heard a lot of good things about him.
Oh my God, man! The nicest man you will ever, the creepiest fucking man you'll ever meet, but the nicest man you'll ever meet.
He played that character well.
Oh yeah, he did. I sat and talked with him for 2 hours straight on a work day when I was supposed to be acting. And instead, I sat on a bench with this man, and I was talking to him, and we were conversating, and we were gonna. This was before COVID. This is like a year before he died. But yeah, we were supposed to do a movie. He was gonna do the Devil's Triangle 2. He was gonna do and he was gonna get me into the movies and do stuff with them. Next thing I know, boom, just dies.
I think was he was in his what, late 70s, early 80s,
I think 70s. Yeah.
70s. Yeah. My God, it's really sad to see all these greats, pass away. And
It is,
but
but they've done such an amazing job with the characters that they portrayed. That are they really dead? No.
no, they're merely on a different plane. Getting ready for whatever the next chapter is.
Oh yeah.
I truly do feel that we are. It's kind of weird. It's something that I've learned by watching like the History Channel and watching like Discovery, because when I was going to the gym and you'd be on like the cross train or something like that, and they'd have the screens up on you, you'd see like the History Channel on one and Discovery Channel on the other, and I try to flip flop back and forth when one was on commercial. The fact that I'm definitely in the firm belief that we are not the first version of the human beings that have been put on this planet. We are definitely not. And I mean, many.
And just think of it this way. I mean, when we pass away, we talk about our souls leaving our body and going to a different plane. I don't call that passing away. To me, that's not dying. That's evolving. That's becoming something more instead of less.
It's true. And whether or not you move on to a different adventure somewhere, or you end up re-inhabiting in a different body and starting all over again, and getting your mind wiped, technically speaking, and then sometimes things get leaked, and that's where deja vu comes from, or that's where past life regression comes in. It's kind of funny. I don't know if you're familiar. Like I said, I dabble in like TikTok videos when I have downtime, and there's a guy on there, Bashar. Have you ever seen Bashar?
Huh.
He's this bald dude. I forget what his actual name is, but he channels an alien being named Bashar, and he actually breaks down everything that goes on with humans and humanity, and it's quite an amazing thing. And every time his videos come on, it's like people ask him questions about, am I going down the right path? They're like, well, you're going down the path that you're supposed to go down, because this is the path that is meant for you. And then eventually, when this goes by, the reality as you know it right now, once you leave your physical form, you're going to go back to the other plane, and then it's quite an amazing, like, and it sounds weird, but if you get a chance to try to find some of his videos through like TikTok, I'm not sure if he's on YouTube, mind you, but it's enlightening to hear it from a perspective. I mean, he's channeling a being of a higher realm, and they're telling you, don't be afraid of death. Death is just the end of one particular chapter.
Yeah.
And everything like everything you're supposed to do is already mapped out for you. It's just you need to go down a particular path. Like if you choose that, you want to eat something different than what you normally do, go ahead and do it, because that's what you're supposed to do. And everything has a purpose. Everything is lined up. Nothing is supposed to be a surprise or any of that kind of thing, because you're meant to go down a certain path. You're meant to deal with certain people. And
yeah. He'll be right back. He's dealing with the Skinwalker dog.
It's all good. It's all good, man. I just find it very, I find it very interesting, because the
Skinwalker again.
No, actually, it was Aries. He got a new toy, and it's this elephant, and he likes the stupid squeaker.
Yeah.
And that's all you were hearing was this. And I'm like, shut the up.
It's all good, man. Toys are toys. They're gonna love that shit.
Yep.
He hasn't had a toy because he tore them all up in almost 2 weeks, and this one finally came in the mail. I opened it. I opened the door and handed it. Literally, just stuck it through the door, and he grabbed it and ran like a little kid got a Nerf gun or some shit.
Dude, that's what they do, though. I mean, we have I'm a cat guy, and we got a little kitten around Christmas time, and every time there's a toy or something she wants, she takes it and runs like hell with it. And we got to go try to find it. It's funny as hell to watch.
So
you know,
right here, I don't know if you can see it. We've got a comment, and a gentleman wanted to know if you could kind of like what your take is.
oh, hold on. I'm reading it right now. Give me a second.
Yeah,
You're fine.
you're fine. I'm reading it too.
Okay, I'm going to share this. I lost my mother to cancer back in 2007. Okay. She originally had ovarian cancer, and it got turned into. She went through 2 full bouts of radiation chemotherapy. She was at one point cured of one cancer. I think she had cervical cancer, and then 2 months later, she went back in for a follow up, and it had shown back up in her lungs and liver. She went through it all again, and then she passed away 10 months later from cancer. So I feel for that, and she was about 58, so around the same age range. Now, the rest of that comment was like how? Okay, yeah, okay. So visit me. Yes. She told me to get ready, and that she was coming. She was coming for him soon. So she must know something that he doesn't.
Here's another part of it.
Okay, so it might not have even been mother, but it could have been an energy that took the form of and tried to get in with them.
That's a possibility.
Well.
I didn't think of that.
Like I've actually had interactions with my mother. She goes on investigation. She protects me.
Yeah.
If I go a little too far off, because when I get into mood and I open up for communication, I can tend to get a little, my energy gets a little bit off the Richter scale, and I need a little bit. And she's like that. She's like that eternal grounding. That's like, okay, we got to protect you from yourself, because sometimes you'll try to deep dive in on things and maybe you shouldn't, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But they might know something that he doesn't know, and maybe get checked, and get make sure you have a clean bill of health, because spirits can sometimes see things that we can't see.
That's
They
true.
can give us warning signs of, if you don't take care of yourself, I will be there for you soon. Coming from somebody who has had issues in the past, whether it's mental health, whatever, physical wise. I've dealt with like massive infections when I almost lost part of my leg last year due to a complication from cellulitis and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Or anything like that. But sometimes you get that poke. Like, I know when my grandmother's with me, because I'll get like that. I'll get that tug of that twist of the ear feeling, or the poke in the back. Saying, "Hey, cut the shit. Go get seen. Make sure everything's cool." So I mean, if it's a warning sign that you're getting from the other side, maybe get checked, and it could help you out.
That's
But I mean,
not bad. That's good advice right there.
I mean, I'm not a medical professional. I can't really tell anybody what to do one way or the other, man. But if maybe it would help, and who knows, maybe the spirit will come back, and maybe she'll come visit him again, and not be as direct as saying, "Hey, I'm coming for you."
Right.
It is kind of awkward that after he said he wasn't ready to go yet, that she hasn't come back. So there is a good chance that spirit might not have been the mother, but took the form of, to try to get him to to do something he probably shouldn't do,
or collect. Yeah,
exactly, because
I got you.
There's a lot of energy vampires out there.
You also got to be careful with what comes through and stuff, because depending on what you got that message from, whether it was a dream, electronic device, there are things out there that do like to mess with people and sometimes manipulate you to do things that you're not ready to do, or that is It could be anything.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Vinny. It's the paranormal universe is so vast,
Yep.
and every time you think you know something, a new twist gets put on the thing that you think you might have known.
Yep.
And like I said, the tip of the iceberg, especially now that, in my personal opinion, aliens, Bigfoot, your cryptids, and the ghosts are all under the same umbrella. They're all under the same paranormal umbrella, and almost like interact with each other. Because to me, Bigfoot has to be alien, because how can something that large hide in plain sight if it doesn't have some sort of extraterrestrial gifts that we don't have?
Yeah.
It's not just a link. It's not just a link between beast and man. Obviously, some people think that, but
a lot of people
I'm
think
intrigued by it.
the missing link between what we are and what aliens are. So
Yeah,
who knows?
The answers are out there, maybe, but I don't think we're ever going to get all the answers, because I don't think we're supposed to have all the answers. And maybe someday, but I think that the beings who are more advanced than we are, they're not going to give us all of it. I don't even think our human brains could handle all of it if they gave it to us.
So
Honestly.
spirits and cryptids, do you think they're on like their own little plane, or are they separate? Because I was just wondering if you would see like Bigfoot, like walking down the forest and getting bombarded by this spirit or poltergeist.
You know what? I think cryptids have the ability to cross to the spiritual plane.
Yeah,
I do, because I think the spiritual plane is just another form of an existence. It's another world within a world within a world.
yeah, and if you ever go to like a location and you wonder why, if you go into a room that certain spirits don't interact with other spirits, it's because they exist on different timelines in the same location. So you'll have a spirit, you'll have a woman who passed away in like the 1800s, and in that same room, you could have a man that had gotten either passed away in like the mid 1900s or whatever, and they're not going to see each other, because although they're both in the same room, they're on different timelines. Kind of like we're in the current timeline. They're from different, and like there's layers upon layers of timelines that go back all the way to the formation of mankind. That we have never even experienced, because they're so far back. But it's, to me, and like you said, cryptids or Bigfoot or even aliens, they have the ability to weave in between the planes of existence. We don't. Mankind does not have that kind of technology. We don't have that ability. Some of us are lucky enough to be able to communicate on different levels and different layers.
Okay. So, because I was always wondering, like, I recently lost my father to cancer last year.
Sorry about that.
And then I just found out, I think it was, last year, I just found out that a good friend of mine, he was like a stepdad, we lost him 2 years after that. I was wondering if like they could meet each other, or if they were like, maybe hanging out and talking, or is it just the fact that it's two different time
No,
areas?
you know what? There's a good chance, if they knew each other in life, that they could. On the other side, I'm just thinking like some spirits are from like the 1700s, 1800s, 1900s.
Yeah, I get that part.
I don't think that they can see each other directly. I think that they probably see themselves as shadows, like normal people would see spirits on ours. But if they pass relatively close together and they know each other, I think that they're probably interacting with each other on the other plane. I wish I could be 100% sure on it, but I like to think that, like, when my mother passed away in 2007 from cancer, and I lost my dad in 2024 to complications from major strokes, that they're within the certain timeline so that they can be together again. I believe that they're back together again on the other side. I truly believe that.
See, that would be really cool, because like we lost my uncle a while back too, and I would be really good to know that my dad is actually getting to be with his brother that he like adored and like practically worshipped. I mean, they were inseparable.
Yeah, I personally feel that there is a chance. I mean, I think there's a better than average chance that they are together. I mean, we're only speculating. We can only have an idea of speculation on how things work on this side
Yeah.
because we're not physically there. We get a chance to interact with spirits who want to talk to us through equipment or through abilities, innate abilities, if you have them or anything. But it's only our interpretation of these things. You know, if that makes any sense. You know, that's the science. There's your scientific side of the equation. Is it's only our interpretation of the equipment or the feelings and things of that nature. Until we've truly moved to that next level, that next plane, we're not going to truly know exactly what happens on that other side. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
You know?
it does. And again, you know, you can never be too sure whatever you're communicating with or whatever you're trying to communicate with you is absolutely that person, or if it's something that just wants to mess with you. And yeah, I don't trust. I'm a firm believer that you are malevolent and crazy in life, that's what you're going to be in death.
Yes, you know what? I have had many conversations with mediums and psychics and experienced people in the field. And if you're an asshole in life, you're going to be an asshole on the other side. I don't truly believe that everybody has that aha moment and everybody turns into this gloriously happy spirit. I don't truly believe that is the case. It'd be funny if it was, but I don't truly believe that is the case.
I don't either. I truly don't believe that people can change because they know that they're gonna die.
Yeah.
And they want to do good. Good happens when you don't expect anything in return.
Yeah.
Like, you know, taking it from this episode, if you guys are gonna take anything out of it, it's be respectful no matter where you are to whatever is around you.
100%. 100%.
Just be loving and caring and kind, because you know what? There's too much hate in the world. There really is.
Absolutely. You know, I agree with you 1,000-fold. Just like showing respect to both of you guys, having a conversation, or you know, anything else that any people you talk to, you know, do that when you're communicating with spirits on the other side, because you're going to their home. Like I said before, you're going to their home. You're going to their place that they reside in currently. You know, some people, some of them are earthbound because they choose to be. Some of them are earthbound because they're not ready to leave yet, because it's something that they haven't finished yet before they need to leave. It all depends on how you want to look at it. But if you go to a location, be respectful, talk to them like they're regular people. That the things, I'll be honest with you, the questions that I hate are like, do you know you're dead? How'd you die? Because you know something, they might not even think that they're dead, because they left their physical body.
You know they're dead. They can't leave that area. I mean,
because they live, because you know, some people die suddenly, you know, whether in a car crash or whether, you know, a TV falls on their head, or whatever the hell the situation is, a heart attack, you know, whatever the deal is, and they might not know that they are gone from the plane. Their physical body is no longer here, but their spirit and their energy is still here, and they might just think that, hey, what do you mean I'm dead? How did I die? What do you mean I'm dead? And I mean, I've actually seen that happen. I've seen that come up, you know, with, you know, people are like, what do you mean? And
I didn't even think of that, honestly, because I've asked those basic questions before with my phone, when I used my phone and stuff like that, and I never really thought of it that way.
Yeah, because
you gotta understand it. If you're gonna talk to them like you would talk to yourself, and you don't want to hear the question, don't ask them the question, because most of the time they're not gonna want to hear it anyway.
No, you're right. I mean, generalized conversations. Do you like it here? What's your thing? If you're talking to a kid, what's your favorite animal? Or, you know, what's your favorite color, or how old are you? Not, do you know you died? How'd you die? Uh, you can ask them what year it is, and sometimes get a good response. But
Uh-huh.
you need to lead in with like what's your favorite food, or anything like that.
Yeah.
What's your mom's name, or whatever. You just normal generalized conversation questions. I feel gets so much better of a response.
Like small talk.
Small talk. It is. All you're doing is you're going in there and you're trying to, but I mean, a lot of these places you go or these TV shows you watch, and they're asking the same investigative questions, like they're trying to put the spirit on trial for something that they think the spirit might have done, or something like that. And to me, that's borderline disrespect in my mind, personally. It's
Okay.
it's all about respect, I think.
Hey, I agree with you on that one. I see that.
Well, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to answer a question. This is to your wife, Erica. That happens only because maybe a spirit has an inkling that there's something wrong because he's tried to communicate and nobody's responded to him. And so that question would probably come up in a spirit, in a recorder, spirit box, or something that the spirit would ask. Then it's a different story, because then they say, well, am I dead? Why isn't anybody responding to me? What's going on? Then, they have no idea that they have died, but they had an inkling that they did die.
What to play what he's talking about? My wife asked honestly, there's a guy that she watches on TikTok. He cleans out headstones and caskets and stuff. And he had somebody come across the recorder and ask if they were dead.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And that happens only when you have an intelligent recurring spirit, somebody that has countlessly tried to communicate with somebody who's around but hasn't gotten a response, and just decides to put two and two together. It happens.
Yeah, you're right. There, I mean, there are definitely different levels of spirits. You have your residual ones who do the same things. It's almost on on a recording loop. And
Yeah.
you can actually see
Like a
them
broken record.
walk. You can see them walking in and out of the same room. I've actually seen it at several locations and seen them like walk over, sit down at a ledge at a window, and then look over and then disappear. And then literally like a couple minutes later, you see the same spirit walk back over, sit back down, look out the window, and they're like stuck on a recording loop over and over again. You have your intelligent spirits. You have your spirits there are spirits that are in the house that are intelligent that just won't talk to anybody because they're just not in the mood.
Yeah.
there are definitely some hardcore negative energies out there.
Have you come across anything demonic?
Oh, the D word, the dreaded D word.
Yeah.
I have friends who are demonologists, so I'm not going to disrespect the field. I don't feel that everything that's negative is a demon.
Correct. I can see that.
You don't have to be a demon to be negative.
No, I agree, but there are some people, Vinny, out there who anything of a certain level of negative energy considers them to be possibly demonic. The D word gets thrown around a lot.
Yes.
I have channeled negative because I can actually channel spirits through myself, and I've channeled a negative energy once or twice. It wasn't demonic, but it definitely was next level, stronger than most things I had felt before. I channeled a really big negative energy at the Hinsdale House in upstate New York, which was quite amazing because that thing did stuff with the Ouija board that I've never seen happen in my entire life, which is one of the reasons that I'm very rarely allowed to use a Ouija board, because when I put my hands on it, crazy shit happens. Crazy shit happens. It really does. But no, I really do believe that, like we were saying earlier, negative energy, is basically based off of how the person was. Are there such things as demons and stuff out there? Yes, I do believe that they are. I just don't think that anybody has I don't know anybody who's truly actually seen that level of demonic presence, because I don't think anybody can handle that directly. I mean, I know that there are specialists who do like exorcisms, and the specialists who handle, but if I ever saw a demon, I don't know if my mind could wrap my head around that much negative, that much pure hatred, that much just, that I think that might be just a little too heavy for my brain to want to comprehend, honestly.
And I
It
get
just- it
that.
shows.
And there are things out there in the world that are negative,
Of course.
and they can portray themselves as demonic or try
Shapeshifters.
to trick you into being them. You also got to understand, there are things that worship. There are people that worship like demons and devils and stuff. You got witchcraft. You got voodoo. These are all devil worshiping practices that people do throughout their lives, and they die doing this. They're gonna
I
do it.
mean, with witchcraft, you have good witches and bad witches.
Bad
You
witches.
practice Wiccan, and which
I'm
is
talking
more the
about
holistic
dark
side of
arts.
things.
Yeah,
Your dark arts, your darker side of witchcraft. Yeah, definitely. Your
Blood
voodoo.
magic.
I don't even know if. I mean, people. There are a lot of people who do voodoo practices in like New Orleans and things of that nature, and they are. They probably wouldn't think that all of their stuff is based in the devil's stuff either, but I think it's a lot of it's up to interpretation. I mean,
it is. It's all up to interpretation. Okay, well, it is 8:00, and this is
I need to ask
running
one
out of
thing.
time. Thank you, Jeremy Cutler, for coming on. It was a delight. We want to have you back
absolutely.
soon, I hope.
Yeah. I'm always available, man. If you guys ever want to have me back, just let me know. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to come on tonight to talk to you guys, and maybe I can get you guys to reverse the script and come on Twisted Tales and come visit me on my show, and
Definitely.
that'd be cool.
Let
That'd
us
be
know
cool.
when we'll be there.
Yeah, we'll definitely set something up. 9:30's Wednesday night. I figured I'd give a plug to the show before I get out. 9:30 every Wednesday night as part of the All Access Family Network. And you guys have been really awesome on here. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yep. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. This was Paranormal Talk with the Mini Vinny Show. We love you all. Remember, keep talking paranormal.